Aloha, y'all. I am waking up. I woke up at like 2, maybe 1 or 2, and I couldn't get back to like 3 or 4, like 4. So I just sat there kind of rolling around for 2 hours. Never fun, but it is a intense time astrologically speaking, which we'll get into. Today's the 29th. I actually have to leave Costa Rica unexpectedly, but not on bad terms by any means. The place I'm staying is going to be rented out to somebody or something. I'm not even sure. So they're like, you got to leave by the 8th. So I've made a flight on the 8th back to the States. I'll be hanging out with my nana for a little while I figure out what's next in Fairhope, Alabama. My car and a lot of my stuff is in Colorado, but I can't live there anymore, according to my family. So a whole lot of Uranus in Taurus, North Node in Taurus return for me, North Node in Taurus for everybody stuffs. I digress. And as you can see, I've run out of ink, so I'm scribing really hard and having to see it in the light. So I'm a little out of it, a little frazzled this morning. 29, the sun, 29th is today. It's a Freya's Day, Friday, named after Freya. The sun is at 9 degrees Taurus. The moon is at 23 degrees Aries. Mercury is about to enter Gemini. It's at 29 degrees in some minutes. I forgot to write it down because there's no ink. But 29 degrees Taurus. Venus is at 26 degrees Pisces. Mars is at 10 degrees Pisces. Jupiter's at 27 degrees Pisces, still conjunct Venus by a degree. Saturn's at 24 degrees Aquarius. Uranus is at 14 degrees Taurus, getting closer to the sun, 6 degrees away. Neptune is at 24 degrees Pisces, and that is still loosely conjunct 3 degrees. Jupiter, I can't tell if that's a 4 or 9. We'll say it's a 4. 24 degrees. Neptune, 24 degrees Pisces. So 1 degree, 2 degree difference between Venus, conjunction, and 3 degrees from Jupiter. Sorry, once again, the ink is not here. It's invisible ink. Only the scribe can read it. Pluto's at 28 degrees Capricorn, and the North Node is at 22 degrees retrograde Taurus. So the sun is getting closer and closer to conjunct Taurus. North Node, let's get into it. Today is a Vishuddha Chakra Day, throat chakra day. It's in your throat, obviously, in the surrounding area, clavicle, maybe even kind of area. I'm just remembering my dreams when I did go back to sleep were insanely, like I woke up and I was like, it was like a lucid dream about childhood friends and Hogwarts-ish type schools and casinos and weird stuff, school and dorm life. Very bizarre. So, Vishuddha Chakra, throat chakra. This is involving your thyroid gland, essentially. Keywords are knowledge, health, and decisiveness. Positive aspects are loyalty, trustworthiness, tactfulness, and calm. Negative aspects are unfaithfulness, untrustworthiness, self-righteousness, and coldness. The mantra is Ham, H-A-M, Ham, like that kind of. And then key of G, musical note of G. Spiritual activities are chanting, silent retreats, fasting, yoga, dance, qigong, tai chi. Essential oils are blue chamomile, gardenia, and ylang ylang. Plant is gardenia. The metal is mercury. Element is the ether. Musical note is G. Crystals are turquoise, blue agate, and aquamarine. And the soul lesson is expressing the divine will. So hopefully we speak our truth and listen well simultaneously today. Let's go ahead and get some cards. Yeah, that was very unrestful sleep last night for me, so I'm kind of out of it. I'm going to blame the eclipse that's tomorrow, conjunct Uranus. But we'll see. We got the 7 of Cups. Ta-da! Very powerful image here. Cups are emotions, so if you're a Cancer, cups are water signs, I should say. If you're a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, cups are naturally your suit. And the 7 is moving on along in the journey, a little past halfway, right? Usually about victory and accomplishment, and then moving towards a little more complication of that. So, 7 of Cups, dreaming big, which I did when I did get sleep last night, dreamed big, and putting a plan into motion and making that plan happen. Receiving guidance from dreams and altered states, and fully exploring your creative gifts. Seven of Cups, I use my imagination. The Seven of Cups is the card of imagination. For the iconic shaman and philosopher Terence McKenna, the imagination signaled the presence of a divine spark within human beings. He saw our imagination literally as the descent of the world soul into all of us. There is no part of our humanity that isn't impacted by the imagination. We are a spark of imagination, and Mother Nature does not create things that have no use. Life viewed through the evolutionary eyes reveals how nature shares her resources incredibly sparingly. This could be the shadow of Taurus Sun, Mercury and Taurus, where it's like there's limitations and value, but it's not a free buffet for everybody. It's like, you got to work and plant your seeds and reap what you sow. The question then arises, when do we have this faculty that allows us, or why do we have this faculty that allows us to conjure and manipulate realities that do not exist, just like my dreams last night, very lucid but very real feeling. Imagination can be looked at as vast extension of the visual faculty. Our minds have a spectacular multidimensional eye. In the artwork, the character's physical eyes are covered, but we are gifted a window into what he is seeing through his inner eyes. Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune conjunct in Pisces as well, right? We have this ability to see through the veil. We get to see into a whole other reality. Out of each hovering cup arises a spectral image. The human head, symbolizing the mind or the ego that can either guide with wisdom or become self-obsessed and irrational. And I've got to just double check because I wrote it down, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, the moon is in the last, it's 23 degrees Aries. That rules the head, Aries, and can be very self-oriented. Aries energy. We get to see into the whole other reality. Out of hovering cup arises a spectral image. The human head, symbolizing the mind or the ego that can either guide with wisdom or become self-obsessed and irrational. The bat, symbolizing the power of vision, inner and outer. The mask, symbolizing deceptions, very South Node in Scorpio. Or the personas, masks, or masks we all wear. The mushroom, which I'm going to be tripping today or tomorrow on mushrooms. The mushroom, symbolizing our symbiotic relationship with other earthly life forms. The lightning bolt, symbolizing spirit coming to earth. Gold coins, symbolizing wealth and abundance. And the star geometry, symbolizing structure and creativity. The most obvious place imagination offers the highest value is in the domain of human creativity. The activities of producing art, architecture, creative writing, and poetry, music, theater, and dance can be seen as the fingerprints of imagination. North Node and Taurus, what's the value in the real world that you're bringing? They are the evidence of its touch. It's as if the imagination leaves clues everywhere to show us where it has been. Unlike a thief who is careful not to leave fingerprints, South Node in Scorpio, imagination wants to be discovered. Mercury in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus. It wants us to know that it is right here in full view. The Seven of Cups calls you to explore your imagination fully, to delight in the fact you can imagine it all. If you look, you will discover a paradox. It is impossible for you to imagine not being able to imagine. As we move ever more into a domain of virtual or light realities, like technologically enhanced light realities, the intractability of physical matter is no longer a restriction. We can build anything our minds can entertain. Here, the fingerprints of imagination are algorithms instead of canvases, clay, or physical movement. Imagination is effectively the new currency of these light-based realms. Importantly, there are always blessings and burdens, with fewer and fewer restrictions upon what we can create. Saturn Aquarius, right? We're moving into a place where structures are technologically eccentric and weird and new, cutting edge. The issue of morality takes center stage. North Node and Taurus. More than ever, the imagination must be used skillfully to enhance our human experience and preserve the animal and plant realms. Thoughts can instantly be shared with millions, can lift us to new heights, inspire and entertain, and they can also provoke fears, prejudice, and violence. Will we create endless perversions or miraculous vistas? The answer is probably both. When your mind projects fear into the world, tremendous damage and unhappiness can be the result. The acronym FEAR, F-E-A-R, standing for false evidence appearing real, is a powerful prompt, a reminder to bring awareness and powerful questions to bear on life situations around you. Bring new vistas to life. Make them tangible with love. So I use my imagination, dream big, and put a plan into motion to make it happen. Receiving guidance from dreams and altered states, and fully explore your creative gifts. I'll take it. With the sun in Taurus, with the moon in Aries, we have this kind of restlessness. The moon is going to be entering Taurus soon for the new moon. Solar eclipse tomorrow. The sun will be there. Mercury will be there. Uranus will be there. The North Node. It's going to be a stacked Taurine moment about beauty and expression, but not just practical expression, like this is a combination really of the energies, quite frankly, where it's Venus and Mars in Pisces, Neptune conjunct Venus in Pisces, Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces, right? All this kind of ethereal, what if, magical mystery Taurus energy. But then we have that Taurus stuff where it's value in real life. So we want to hear the tune in our head and speak it out, abracadabra. You don't want to just kind of leave it inside. That's where it originates, right on the inside, but then it emanates out, our creativity. So that's kind of the energy of what we're being told to do right now. Let's go ahead and get a clarifying card. I can't speak. I didn't realize how badly I needed contiguous sleep. We've got the Five of Wands. That is a little, with the Uranus in Taurus going to be conjunct the Sun during the solar eclipse tomorrow in the new moon. It's very Five of Wands energy, very kind of frenetic, combative, bubbling, right? Hopefully it's creating bubbling creative energy, but ultimately it could be very kind of like tempestuous Hunger Games kind of feels. So the wands, if you're a wand, it's Aries, like where the moon is, Leo or Sagittarius. And Five of Wands, briefly, is as follows. It's the fire spirit. Got this chimera going on. I am alert and sharp to all challenges and conflicts. It's the sniffing salt kind of the reality. Competitive nature, locked in a battle of wits, keeping a rigid structure, testing your ideas out. So we want to have this beautiful flow of ideas. Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces. But we also want to be testing it out in the real world, Aries moon, right? Mercury in the last degrees of Taurus is about to enter Gemini. It's like we're taking our idea, we built a model plane and now we're going to throw it over the cliff and see if it works, right? It went from an idea to this. I'm just reading somebody saying, give me a reading related to career. Seema, hit me up for a personal reading. This is a collective reading. So, well, that guy was booking it on his RV down the road. That guy was going like 30 miles an hour down a road where people usually go 5. So, we've got this Vishuddha chakra, the truth, right? The truth of what our imagination emanating from us. And then we've got the Five of Wands as the clarifier, being like keeping your wits strong, maybe feeling like you're in a battle of the minds. There's a really good Ted Chiang short story in The Lives of Others and Other Stories. And The Lives of Others is a movie that became The Arrival. This short story is called Knowing, I believe, and it's very much Five of Wands energy. Check it out, but it's very mental too. Mercury going into Gemini soon. So the animal card we have is the snake, creation, number 43. And if you haven't checked out the podcast, do. Stacey DeMarco has been on the podcast. David DeAngelis has been on the podcast. Rupert Sheldrake, all these kind of cool people. Android Jones, he's a great artist. Stuffs like that. Some of my favorite astrologers, Leo King, Kaipacha Lesher, Mike the Peace Dealer, Kira Lee, Cosmic Priestess. Fun stuffs. Wormas has been on. We got to get you back on, bro. 43, the snake, on page 170. I just say that because 17 is a big number for me. June 17th is my birthday. My 37th birthday, Jesus. 43, snake, creation. It is time to shed your skin and try something new. Creation is your birthright. You must understand, right? So we're shedding our skin. And doesn't that look kind of like what he's doing? Shedding his skin and then dreaming a new reality. And it almost looks like a pharaoh's hat or helmet garb. But we're Seven of Cups. We're dreaming the new dream, but we have to make it happen in the real world, and that's going to take some tenacity. Five of Wands, Aries moon energy. Creation is your birthright, North Node and Taurus. You must understand that to remain stagnant means to atrophy, right? You don't want to just sit still. I'm really glad in a sense that Mercury is going from Taurus to Gemini. As a Gemini myself, Sun and Moon, we're going to be thinking a lot more clearly. So do not fear your own creative flow. Don't fear that Seven of Cups, right? Abracadabra, speak it thusly, make it so. Vishuddha chakra, throat chakra day. If you have a physical ailment, healing will occur. You are capable of big transformation. If you haven't begun, begin. Pluto in Capricorn, change your world. Uranus in Taurus, electrify your reality and revolutionize the earth and your values. Saturn in Aquarius, mutate the fucking structure. Mythos. The Australian Aboriginal culture is the longest continually existing culture on the planet, and so, in turn, the rainbow serpent mythos is one of the oldest creation stories in existence. The serpent mythos is a rich one, with many variants and features in art and oral storytelling that were widespread across the continent. The mythos always strongly centers on the element of water, verbal dyslexia. Some believe the rainbow serpent brought water from heaven when the world was created, while others believe that in the beginning, when there was nothing on earth, the rainbow serpent cracked through the crust of the earth and began her journey of waking up all life. As she moved and traveled, stopped and slept with her body, the rainbow serpent created gullies and gorges, mountains and valleys, and of the water lines that joined them all. Once water appeared, life on earth began to flourish. All the animals, reptiles, and birds awoke and began their life cycles, right? 7 of Cups. Once oddly enough, all the animals, represented by this chimera, all the animals at once, once the waters kind of popped, all life sprang forth, right? The rainbow serpent created humans and gave the tribes animal totems. Each tribe could eat what they wished except for their own totem, which meant balance in hunting and nature, and that all had food to eat. Very weird way of keeping the rules, Saturn and Aquarius. In reality, this indicated an instruction for a balanced coexistence between tribes and a need for deep connection and synergy with the land, North Node in Taurus, Sun in Taurus, Mercury in the last degree of Taurus. Australia is one of the most environmentally sensitive places on the planet. Our lack of water, and she's from Australia, so that's why she's saying ours, our lack of water being but one reason for that. The rainbow serpent asks us to recognize the preciousness of water and how we rely upon it for the continuation of life itself. Snakes are one of the most powerful symbolic animals throughout cultures of the world. Some of the most famous mythos featuring serpents include the ancient Norse, whose Midgard serpent Jörmungandr battles Thor at Ragnarok. It's going to be a little loud, so hold on. Quetzalcoatl, right? I think it mentions that in a second. So the Midgard serpent, Thor battles at Ragnarok. The Nidhogg-Nada, the dragon that sits at the base of the world tree. And there's also Greek Gnostic Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail as the sign of cycles of life and death always continuing. That represents the evil, the snake in the Bible, right? The representation of evil and temptation in the Bible in the story of Adam and Eve. The snake of the Hopi people, the snake-headed Medusa of the ancient Greeks. As protective divine animals, they were honored by the ancient Egyptians, the cobra especially, and Hindus and the Buddhists with the naga. The animal. Snakes are found on every continent except for Antarctica and more isolated islands such as New Zealand and some Hawaiian islands. They are ectothermic, needing to regulate their body temperature by exposure to the environment. Snakes have scales and dry, cool skin, and they shed their skin when growing. This transformative process enables the old skin to be renewed and replaced and enables the snake to be free of any parasites or harmful molds. The molt itself even includes the snake's eyes and is normally achieved by rubbing against a log or other hard, rough object. While a proportion of snakes are venomous, this complex venom is to subdue prey and certainly not to harm humans, as we are not prey. Some venom is used in medicine for humans and is actually a kind of modified saliva injected from fangs. Other ways, snakes obtain prey by strangulation and the crushing of prey by the muscular coils of the snake's body. The boa constrictor is a good example of this. Snake magic, which is why we're all here. The magic. It would be possible to write a very thick book simply on snake magic alone. Such is its variety and power. And my Mayan symbol is red rhythmic serpent. So snake energy in my life at that level. For our purposes here, use snake magic for 2 main intentions. First, for creation, right? This 7 of Cups energy, where we're moving through the world creating, shedding our snake skin and letting it exfoliate as actions in the world, Taurus Sun. So creation, and second for protection. Snake energy is almost unmatched in its ability to stimulate the flow of creative forces and enable those ideas and concepts to be successfully transformed into reality, right? So when you're taking these creative ideas and making it so. If you are stuck for ideas or lack flow in the flow to get things happening, or literally feel stuck and lack in fertility areas, call upon the snake. As for protection, in so many cultures, snakes are the protection or protectors of the truth and of all that is good. If you are worried about being robbed, about others stepping over your boundaries, or you need energies to keep you safe, coiling snake magic is perfect ones to invoke. Symbology is snake eating its tail, the Midgard serpent, cobra headpieces in Egyptian spirituality, and I was just mentioning this looks like the headpiece kind of King Tut if his face was there. The Naga, apple and snake, feathered serpents, there's the Quetzalcoatl, dragons. Status ranges from critically endangered to least concerned depending on the species, because there's such a variety of snakes that it kind of varies. But this is an ancient, in our Kundalini spine obviously, ancient energy that is telling us how to wiggle through reality, hopefully flowing well, right? And engaging with that which what we need to. And hissing, speaking our truth, speaking our Slytherin tongues. So, let's get a hexagram really quick, and then a crystal card, and then I will go do other things. This has come up a few times, so I think it's important, and I do shuffle these. So, 45, with Saturn in Aquarius, it's about the royal we, and I think that we're all feeling this solar eclipse, new moon pretty hard, so I'm sure we're all going to be growing in this way. Gathering. Wherever people find themselves together, there is something which motivates them, whether a collective goal or a stronger person to whom they align themselves. As a leader, you become the focal point of all the group's strength. As an ordinary group member, you add the individual capabilities to the collective power of the group. And it's funny because in some weird way, we're all dreaming each other, and, you know, we're all in each other's group. It's like all these rays of light and bands are surrounding the dreamer. And that, you know, we're writhing around in each other's dreams, like this chimera situation. Five of Wands clarifier. As an ordinary group member, you add your individual capabilities to the collective power of the group. In both cases, you are one of the group and contribute to the concentration of energy within the group. Either role could have a positive or negative effect upon your personal development. It all depends on how you go about it. Try to organize your feelings and thoughts so they match your actions and goals, right? Organize your reality, Sun in Taurus, North Node in Taurus, Mercury in the last degree of Taurus, and actionable, make it actionable, Moon in Aries. Try to organize your feelings and thoughts so they match your actions and goals. By doing so, you gain self-confidence and can achieve your objectives. So we're trying to understand that we're all in this together, looking at the same, it's almost like an eyeball, we're all witnessing together. It's a wild, wet tour in this chimera dream. Five of Wands is the clarifier, but we are here dreaming and imagining the whole thing, speaking it into existence, like Adam naming all the animals, kind of an allegory for our vocal power, right? And we need to be able to identify ourselves and other aspects of creation to have fun in it. It can feel overwhelming when you don't know what's going on, but when you kind of know what's going on, or at least are willing to participate in the dream at that level of play, where Mercury is going into Gemini very soon, it becomes that much more fun. Ooh, I love this stone. It's one of my favorite looking, and it's very apropos for Venus conjunct Neptune. We have malachite. You can quantumly entangle with this. You don't have to own it, but if you do, plus 5 points. What it is, with its trademark acid trip swirls, and I will be eating mushrooms today or tomorrow. Money green malachite is an electrifying mesmerizer with a high copper content, always good for moving energy and making things happen. Aries moon. Who needs it? The overflowing and creativity. Oh, really? Creation, same word as root word as creativity. And Seven of Cups. Notice how he's overflowing with creativity. The group is looking on this like creative egg project that's going on and trying to be part of it. The overflowing in creativity, but lacking in follow-through. That's the shadow of Mercury and Taurus last degree, where it's just like, I feel like I'm walking through mud and I want to run. Taurus season, shadow. All business all the time set. Pluto and Capricorn, Saturn and Aquarius, right? Where it's like, are we taking things a little too seriously? Where to put it? If you're trading cryptocurrency, writing television pilots, or starting up the next tech giant, try some malachite in your workspace. When to use it? When the concrete jungle has you disconnected from the earth beneath it. When you've just got to have the money, power, and all the glory coming with it. Five of Wands, right? When you're feeling super competitive and very Aries moon, where you're like, I got to have it all. North Node in Taurus, Sun in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus. It's like, I want all the things, and I'm going to win, and I'm going to beat you all up for it, and conquer. And when you need a heart-forward, sustainable energy, courtesy of malachite, call upon it. Claim your success. Now notice the image here. Doesn't it look like he's claiming his success? His imaginal success, right? We are creator beings, creation, right? The snake. And we need to claim our success with malachite for ourselves and others, both and, because you're not an island, and we're all in this together, but at the same time you have individual gifts, Aries moon, that you yourself have to manifest, North Node and Taurus. And you want to look at it as a creative battle of the wits, not as a competition. You want to work on your spellcraft, on your language, on your pronunciation, and not snicker at the people who mispronounce things in their spellcraft. And we're all of our speaking spells all the time. We're all dreaming, right? So we want to focus on flowing well in the dream creatively by claiming our success for ourselves and others, Saturn and Aquarius, through the fire of gumption. Really, it's like, okay, let's go play. It's like a Quidditch match, right? Is it Quidditch? I always say this, and I feel like I make up the word. In Harry Potter, the game they're playing, sometimes they take it too seriously, but usually they're having fun, right? 5 of Wands. And you've got to be able to speak your truth like Harry Potter, Avada Kedavra, or whatever the word is. And they realize at the end, oh my god, it was all a dream and we're all in this together. What a weird yin and yang, Slytherin, Snake, Voldemort, and Harry Potter, big mirrors, basically, twin flames kind of thing. He claims his success at the end, finally, but it isn't by himself. He's with Hogwarts and all the people that help him get there, even though he feels like he's having to battle all these monsters and demons and keep his wits about him and stuff like that. I'm talking about a lot of things at once, but you know what I'm saying. I digress, though. So hopefully you tap into your powerful creativity. Hopefully you create something with these imaginings. You don't just let it sit there. Make it come out in the world, 5 of Wands, and show people what you got. Abracadabra, make it so. Talk about it a little, right? But you're doing it for the royal we, the team. It's not just about you. It's not just about you getting a pat on the back. It's about you creating value. North Node in Taurus, Sun in Taurus. New moon is going to be in Taurus. Solar eclipse tomorrow. Uranus conjunct that. Sun, where we're creating a radical new way of being, and it's a real privilege to do it. So hopefully you enjoy your Freya's Day, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Adios.